Hey guys, so one thing before I start, I'm actually sick right now. I have the flu or some kind of cold and I'm not sure the perks of working in a preschool. But, so I'm sorry if I sound weird or nasally or if I just look bad in general. It's just because I'm not feeling very good. But I just really want to get up some videos for you and for myself because I enjoy it, so I decided I would film anyway. So the reason I'm coming to you all barefaced and not that awesome looking is because I'll be reviewing this foundation, which is the Magic Nude Liquid Powder Foundation from L'Oreal. I've used this foundation once before, but this will kind of be a first impression because the circumstances were a lot different. I was in another country with a lot of humidity and heat, and so I haven't really tried it out like in Iceland. In these weather conditions, it's a lot drier, a lot colder. I just want to let you guys know that this foundation is a little too dark for me, and I'm aware of that because I made a bad call and I picked up a color after having been in the sun for about a week, and I was a lot darker back then. But I just mainly wanted to talk about the coverage and the texture, so the color won't matter that much. I know it won't look that good, but I can still tell you things about the foundation. So I'm just gonna do that right now and I'll see you guys later. So I'm just pouring a little bit of the foundation on a flat surface like this one, and it's very liquidy, that's what I remember. I'm probably using way too much, but that's okay. It's very dark, I can see that as soon as I pour it out. I'm using the beauty blender. I have used it with a brush before, but since I have very dry skin and this is a liquid to powder foundation, I don't really know why I picked it up because that doesn't sound so good for dry skin. But I'm using the beauty blender hoping it will keep it a little more dewy and it won't stick to my dry patches as much. So I'm just gonna see how it goes. But I remember the texture being really weird, so I'm excited to... Oh, this maybe wasn't that smart because I can already see the sponges picking up a lot of the product and just drinking it. So I'm probably going to need a lot. So I would recommend using my brush, but I mean it gives a good texture with the beauty blender. I'm just patting it all over, and as you can see it has a pretty good coverage. It's already covering up some of my redness, some of my ratchetness. No, just kidding. I really don't like the texture on my skin. It makes my flaws stand out more. It's so soft to the touch. It feels amazing, but I just feel like I'm picking it up off my skin and it really rubs off on my fingers. Okay, I think I'm going to stop with the beauty blender and just use my hands. I think that's how you're supposed to do it according to the company. It feels very good on. It feels very light and it actually feels like you're just putting oil all over your face. It's so soft. It feels weird. It has good coverage considering how thin it is. I thought it would be almost see-through. I'm finding it very streaky on my face. It's really hard to blend into the skin. I feel like it just sits on top and I'm just moving it around. I feel like it's not drying at all. I'm just waiting for it to turn into this powder consistency. I'm not feeling it yet. Okay, so that's one layer of the foundation. It goes on quite smoothly. It's kind of like rubbing silk or oil all over your face. But after that I just feel like it doesn't dry, so I feel like I'm just moving it around and it gets streaky. But I'm just gonna wait for it to dry and I'm gonna put all the other stuff over it and see how I feel about it with the full face of makeup. So I'll be right back. So I just finished putting all my other face products on, and this is how it's looking. I think it's looking pretty good, and it's really not powdery looking, which is weird. I think I made a huge mistake because I forgot I was about to film a review and I shouldn't have put primer on, but I did put a primer on, and I put the Lumi Magique one, which is supposed to be like glowy and dewy, and I don't think that's a good idea when you're putting a liquid to powder foundation on, because it really didn't dry on me, so I had to pile on a lot of powder, which you shouldn't have to do with a liquid to powder foundation, especially when you have dry skin like I do. So that was a huge mistake, and I'm sorry for that one, but after I set it with powder, it looks pretty good. And I feel like I'm looking kind of a different ethnicity in the viewfinder right now, feeling a little dark. And like I said, I knew this foundation would be too dark for me, but I feel like I went a little overboard with bronzer also. But I am liking the looks of it. It took a long time drying, but as I said, maybe it's just because I put the Lumi Magique primer underneath. Shouldn't have done that. It really is a failed review because of that. But I really like how it's looking. I'm not going to be coming back and saying how it wears throughout the day, because I'm actually not doing anything today. I'm just sick at home, so it wouldn't be a valid review. That way I'm just talking about like my impressions. I have used it before and it did last quite a long time. It got a little bit patchy over the day just because I have dry skin, and I think this foundation would be better for oily skin. But with an illuminating primer, you have no idea how many times I just said that sentence, like 5 times, and every time I said primer instead of primer. With an illuminating primer, it really works for dry skin. I didn't hate it on my dry skin before, but as I said, I wasn't very human conditions. Wow, that is so awkward. Like, yeah, of course I was in human condition. Who am I? I was in very humid conditions, and I'm sorry, I'm so congested. I really just feel like I can't breathe. But yeah, before, when I tried it, I was in humid and hot conditions, so it maybe wasn't a valid first impression then. So maybe I've done 2 impressions right now that aren't valid. One in different conditions that I'm used to, humid conditions, and one right now where I use the primer underneath. But my honest opinion right now is I like it, I recommend it. Yeah, it's looking quite good, so I'm satisfied. I hope you liked this review. I'm sorry it was rambly. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.